Welcome to this video on nutrition in living organisms, focusing on animals and humans. Autotrophs are organisms that produce their own food from inorganic sources. Heterotrophs, on the other hand, cannot manufacture their own food and must derive nutrition from organic matter. This slide shows the classification of heterotrophs, including herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, saprophytes, and parasites. The modes of nutrient intake vary between organisms and include sucking, chewing, scrapping, siphoning, and swallowing. Examples include hummingbirds sucking nectar, ants chewing food, snails scrapping leaves, eagles swallowing prey whole, and butterflies siphoning nectar. Different anatomical features like beaks, teeth, jaws, and antennae facilitate these feeding processes. We see examples of various feeding methods, such as swallowing, chewing, lapping, nibbling, scraping, sucking, and filtering. Animals are classified into herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores based on their food habits. Herbivores eat only plants, carnivores eat only animals, and omnivores eat both plants and meat. Another mode of nutrition is parasitic, where organisms or parasites live on or inside a host to obtain food, harming the host in the process. Different parasites, such as mosquitoes, bedbugs, fleas, mites, and ticks, have varied feeding modes depending on their adaptations. Saprophytic organisms derive their food from dead organisms. They secrete enzymes onto the food material, breaking down complex substances into simpler forms. Fungi and many bacteria are common examples of saprophytes. Holozoic nutrition involves ingesting complex organic substances without prior degradation. The food is then digested by enzymes within the organism, absorbed, and the undigested product is expelled. This is seen in simple organisms like amoeba and complex ones like human beings, as shown by the amoeba example. Nutrition in humans involves 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Each step is a vital process, from taking food in to converting it into absorbable substances, distributing nutrients, and finally eliminating waste. The alimentary canal, or digestive tract, is the pathway food travels through the body, starting at the mouth and ending at the anus. It includes the buccal cavity, food pipe, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. The buccal cavity contains teeth, which, in a normal adult mouth number 32, composed of incisors, canines, premolars, molars, and sometimes wisdom teeth. Each type of tooth serves a specific function in processing food. Children have 20 primary, temporary, or milk teeth, including 4 incisors, 2 canines, and 4 molars in each jaw. These teeth typically begin to erupt around 6 months of age. The tongue is a simple yet multifunctional organ involved in licking, breathing, tasting, swallowing, and speaking. It features 4 types of taste buds that enable us to perceive sweet, sour, bitter, and salty tastes. The food pipe, or esophagus, is a tube connecting the pharynx to the stomach. Swallowed food moves through it via muscle movements in its walls. This muscular action helps transport food down to the stomach. The stomach is a muscular organ that receives food from the esophagus via the lower esophageal sphincter. It secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, and enzymes. Mucus protects the stomach lining, while acid kills bacteria and aids enzyme activity, which breaks down proteins into simpler substances. The small intestine is the site of most chemical digestion. Enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver enter the small intestine to break down proteins into amino acids, lipids into fatty acids and glycerol, and carbohydrates into simple sugars. Absorption occurs in the small intestine when digested nutrients pass into the blood vessels via diffusion. The inner wall is lined with villi, finger-like projections that increase the surface area for absorption, after which absorbed substances are transported to various body organs. The large intestine is shorter and wider than the small intestine. Its primary functions are absorbing water and minerals and storing and propelling feces towards the rectum for elimination, a process known as egestion. Ruminants, such as cows and deer, swallow food without chewing, later bringing it back to the mouth as cud for leisurely chewing. This process is called rumination. Grass-eating animals store quickly swallowed food in the rumen, which contains cellulose-digesting bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria in the cecum help complete cellulose digestion in ruminants. Humans cannot digest cellulose because they lack these bacteria. Food then moves from the omasum to the abomasum for digestion by digestive juices. Let's now look at nutrition in a simpler organism, the amoeba. Amoeba follows holozoic nutrition, ingesting solid food particles that are broken down by enzymes. It engulfs food using temporary projections called pseudopodia, forming a food vacuole. Complex substances are simplified inside the vacuole and then diffused into the cytoplasm, while unwanted material is expelled. Thank you for watching this video on nutrition in living organisms.